rotational presidency or politics, yes, have become tools in the hands of politicians. And ahead of the 2027-2031 elections, there are already talks. Of course, a coalition is taking place, already. There are conversations around zoning, rotational presidency, and all of that. So, we want to look at this this morning. Are these strengthening democracy or stalling meritocracy? And to talk more about that, for us is an engineer Oluyemi Ogundele, the coordinator of Ogun State diasporans. So you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Taiwo.
Yeah, welcome once again. Let's start looking at the power rotation policy in Nigeria. You discovered that at a particular time we have the president from the southern part of the country, which we currently have, and at another time we have a northern president. But looking at it since 1999, do you think we've been able to achieve as much as we should based on how much we've been rotating power among ourselves?
I don't think we've achieved much, but I wanted to say I'm a fan of power rotation. It has to happen in a country like ours, diverse ethnic groups and stuff like that. In some other country, maybe the one part of the country might be ruling for many years. However, maybe they have only one language. They have a common culture. But in a country like ours, even if it's not about region, it's also about our culture, religion. Some countries they have only one religion throughout, or maybe 90 or 70%, but Nigeria, the way the diversity. So I think we really need it. However, the way it's being practiced is the issue. We have to really work on that. But I think it's a very good idea to have this power rotational policy in place.
Okay. Also, the issue of capacity sometimes come in, that which should be actually looked into. Capacity or the fact that we want to rotate power or zone power to a particular ethnic group or also religion basis. What do you count as very important when we look at this capacity or zoning or power rotation?
Capacity is very important. And then the problem is that we keep moving around the same group of people. We have young, dynamic people who can take over, who can do things even better, but they're not being given the chance. We just look at politics and how old you've been in the political party and stuff like that, and also rotational, okay. But then we really have to look about capacity, who can really do this job. I've seen some area where some region even yield to the other one when they see that they have nobody that can really take the issue up. But if we say, it's just like talking about quota system. It fails in some areas because we just want to have male or we want to have female, even if we have one that's not okay, we could not do the job, we just want to fulfill that requirement that want to do quota system or rotate it, and that is the problem we're having now. We also I have to say that we have a very complex situation here in Nigeria, that even within a region, if we say we're giving to the south, there's still going to be sub region within the south too. We say, no, it's our turn, even though they are speaking the same language, we are from different states and stuff like that. So it's really difficult. We cannot say we want to rotate it by states to sort the situation. It's not going to work. Then you have to wait for another, 45 years before it comes, or I don't know how many years you can. So we have to really be ready. We have to be passionate about what we want to do, and we should not be sentimental about it.
All right.
Okay.
Moses.
But the pendulum swings between north and south. While some will say, well, we have these 6 geopolitical zones. When it comes to the southeast will say, oh, well, we also want to become, the president. But it could swing to the south, and it wouldn't get to south-south. It wouldn't get to southeast. It would get to maybe southwest. And if you get to south side, it may not get to southeast. So what about those that would say, okay, maybe we should be talking about zoning across the 6 geopolitical zones?
I think I will support that idea of 6 geopolitical zones, because I know there was an argument some times ago when we had somebody from South, and some people are claiming that is the South, and at the Southeast I said, no, we've not had it. the South-South is totally different. But when there's another issue at hand, they now claim that South-South and Southeast are the same. So we cannot just take things when it favors us and leave it when it doesn't favor us. So that's why I say maybe the sixth geopolitical zone will be the best way out of it.
But capacity is also the problem
Of course,
here,
that
because
is
people will say, well, zoning disqualifies more competent leaders, because Mr. A could be very competent, but because of where he comes from, we say, oh no, it's not your turn yet, you have to wait for your turn. And by the time it gets to the turn of the zone it belongs to, the political calculation may have changed.
Yes, it's very unfortunate. It's possible that we have somebody from one particular area of the nation now ruling, and by the time his time expires, the person that we think can take us to the destination is from the same area too. So at that end, we say, no, it's not possible, so he has to go. But it's not about this winner-take-all syndrome we have here in Nigeria. Even as a good advisor to the president or as a minister, you can still do your job. You don't have to be president to rule. The president doesn't rule alone. So if you see somebody from the same geopolitical zone capable of doing the job, of course, cannot be the president again because somebody from the zone has just finished the term. Give him a very powerful position there as an advisor, as a minister, or anything, and he will still deliver. So but by the time we look at the president as absolute, he does everything, that's where we fail. And in most countries like that too, that you see some people from another zone taking a very powerful position in the leadership of the country, and they'll be working from underground. I know the case of Syria alone, where we have somebody like Keller, who was a former UNIDO director. And he was in the opposition party at the beginning. I think he has now moved to the party, of the ruling party. He's from another zone. He's from the same zone, I think, with the president or something like that. But he's doing a great job on the background, and he's giving them a lot of international recognition, bringing a lot of investors in and things like that. So we must not be the president to do the job. That is what we should think about.
Looking at our political ideology in Nigeria, and the fact that you discover that to organize a campaign and during election period, you discover vote buying and a lot of things. So this tells on the fact that it takes a lot of money to get into power, nomination form and all. When you look at this, don't you think some people who have the capacity but cannot afford this are being left out, considering how much we spend, contesting and for election? Don't you think we need to do something about reducing the funding and also the funds that goes into Nigerian election?
Absolutely correct. However, this is a constitutional issue. The way a constitution was drafted, we don't give room for such things. We allow the money bags to win elections. I will be happy if we have something like independent candidates. You know it's not going to be easy to win an election as no candidate because you don't have a political party or a lot of people around you. But when you deliver, you have something to deliver and you move around and campaign, it's still possible, but the constitution doesn't allow that. So we end up having this, of course, if somebody is popular within an area and the election is coming up, enough money to have voting agents, how they call them, all over the whole units. So in some area, they can even charge you and nobody will stand up for you. So the political party who has the money, or the people who have the money, who can get agents everywhere. So if election is being rigged in a place, they will be there and say, no, this is not the result. They will go to court and call witnesses. But some people lose in tribunal because tribunal believe on facts and evidences. So when you don't have an agent in a particular volume unit and you claim election was rigged there and they call you out to come and give evidence, there's nobody who can say, yes, I was that polling unit, this one was wrong, this thing did not went well and stuff like that. And the judge will listen. But when nobody and somebody just maybe from INEC or anybody gives something, and they will support the institution they are working for. So at the end of the day, a lot of cases are being lost in the court because court does not believe on this is what it should be. They believe on facts on the table. And that is why this money back win election will everywhere up to the Supreme Court, because they will come up with people. They will tell you in the polling unit, you have even 3 or 4 people monitoring the votes there. And when 4 people come and talk about a result of a place, you will listen, you believe them. And the other people comes in and they say, yeah, we don't have nobody there, but we heard that this was the result and everything. So these are the issues. So it will still continue to be the same thing. You cannot continue to do the same thing and get different results. We have to look into this area. So money still speaks in election, and people, even not only in Nigeria, anyway, even in America, you raise money, and with enough of money, you'll be able to go around. You have the radio thing, you have other things there. So we will not have it right until we do something about that issue.
Maybe we won't have the desperation to be in power at all costs if this funding of a funding election is not that much, because a lot of people who have spent money taking up loan and are very desperate to be in power. Don't you think desperation and the fact that we have a lot of violence during the election will reduce?
Of course, we know this is the situation. I live in Austria. In the recent election, I contested. I'm on the list. It's even possible that I might even be in the council very soon, because we work in the list system. You have about 40 people on the list, and if you're able to win 20 seats, 20 people take over. If anybody leaves, the next person comes in and stuff like that. What I'm trying to say in short is that there's no money there. Here, when you know if somebody becomes a councillor today, in the next 1 year we'll build houses and have fleets of cars, you want to be there. So if we have, like in European country or some other country, where even senators or rep members are not earning much, and they're even expected to have an extra job. As a councillor, you don't even have anything to do rather than go to the council maybe once a week or once in 2 weeks, and they pay them very small amount of money. They have to keep their job. So when you know you have your job, you're not desperate about it. But here, politics is a full-time business, a full-time job. So let me tell you something. If they slash the allowances of the senators or the rep member, what they earn, the cars, all the staff they give allocate to them, everything, people will even not be interested in contesting anymore. But they go there to make money. And in most countries, it's not like those. You see president of some countries driving is no normal car, apart from the official car. And when they leave, official car belongs to. And even when they are going for a private something, they are not supposed to even use official car. President, so not talking. I don't think Nigeria should do such a thing. I mean, but I want to let you know that now talking about governors or even some state assembly member having 3, 4 cars, having all these things. So we make politics very attractive, and it's costing us a lot of money. A lot of money can be saved in the way we do politics, and life will be saved as well, because it's not going to be a do or die thing anymore. So when I know my salary is just 2 million every month, and that is it. But when you have allowances, and they brag. I say, yeah, look at my salary, just 2 million. But when they have allowances more than 20 million, which is not counted as salary, and when they talk in the public and we have salary, tell me other things that you are getting, another benefits you are getting. You can walk into the bank and get millions of loans, while a normal person working cannot even get 1 million loan. You use your influence and everything. And some of them, you don't even pay the loans back. So it's a lucrative business. That's why they're killing themselves and doing other things they're doing, and desperate to win election and rigging election.
Okay. Well, it remains to be seen. If cost of governance will actually be cut. Like you did talk about the jumbo salaries of the lawmakers, because they are the lawmakers, so it must start with them. So, and it's not as if tomorrow they will come and say, okay, let's slash our salaries. Some will tell you, okay, we have to meet certain needs, in a constituency. People come with frivolous needs. Well, anyway, let's leave that. And let's talk politics. There's coalition taking place now. And this coalition came at a point where Nigerians felt, or some Nigerians felt, were drifting, towards one party state. What's your take? Do you think this coalition is strong enough to give the current administration a run for their money?
I don't think so. But let me be honest with you. It's a bit too early. We're now talking as if 2026 it's not even on the calendar. People are not going to 2027. We're committed, and we still have a long way to go. And coalition, for God's sake, in countries, is the people who are like-minded people who gather together to form coalition. You don't form coalition because you just want to grab power. No, and you have different ideologies. You are not together. So at the end of the day, even if you win, you are going to scatter the whole nation. So coalition is based on people who have like-minded. And in most countries, coalition are being done after election. When you campaign, you are from the Green Party, and you campaign, you want to have environmental this, you want to have to stop open defecation, you have your own ideas. But you lost election, and you have 20 members in the House, and you 20 members work an agreement with the ruling party to be able to get our program across. and then you promise them, okay, we'll support you, we'll vote for your motions and your policies, but please accommodate our own. That's how coalition have been formed, mostly after election. But this coalition before election, and for the only one purpose of trying to remove the sitting government, it's not done anywhere because it's about desperation. I don't say the ruling government have done the same in the past, but two wrongs does not make it right. But I don't believe it's a bit too early, number one. And secondly, you can only form coalition with somebody which you have the same idea, the same ideology, very similar. We have people who are from total different perspective, but just because they want to get to power, it's a marriage. So you see marriages that breaks up because you are not even compatible, but you just want to get this thing done for one reason or the other. And at the end of the day, you now start regretting. For the first day, they will start having problems. For the first day, they will start having this. So I don't see this coalition as going to stand the test of time. I don't think they're going to give, and that's why maybe it's fire for fire. That the only party two are trying to bring this together because people are colliding against them. They are trying to move from this area. So now instead of doing the job of governance, they are busy strategizing for the next 2 years or stuff like that. And like I said, they make it look as if they're not going to be 2026, it's going to be 2027. Everybody's talking about 2027. It's a bit too early.
But in politics, once you win an election, you are planning, for the next election. And 2022 and 2025, I think in less than 2 years, the 2027 elections would, come up. And what about those that will look at from this angle that, okay, a coalition as an opposition? Because I could recall I was watching the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development yesterday saying, oh, now that the coalition has come, well, it will also make us do better because we know that to win election, we need the people, and it won't make us rest on our horse because the coalition as an opposition are criticizing the government, telling them what they are not doing, the people are not happy, and all of that. What about from that angle?
What he said was correct. I mean, normally that's where it should be. You have a government in place. Maybe they are doing things you don't like. We are not talking about next election. You are forming a coalition to be able to tackle them, to give them a run for their money, to be able to make them do the right thing. So that when you come to the house, they bring a bill or they bring a budget, you will vote and argue about it, not for election. The coalition is meant, and that's what is one meaning of, and that's where it should be actually, that they make them work hard. The coalition is not, they're not going to make them work hard because they want to take power from them. Of course, they will want to do better so that they convince people and say, yes, we are doing a good job. It's your work that will speak for you, even in election. When you see that there's a lot of coalition out there, you start doing the right thing so that you'll be able to argue it out. When you come to election, you have to argue, this is what I can deliver, and this is what I've delivered. Test and trusted. But that is not the way some people play the politics. For them, they don't even want to care and do something good. They want to get enough money, get enough members, get enough members from another party to their side and everything. That is what they are doing, not rather than continue doing the good job. Just like the minister said, you have to do a good job. It's the job that's supposed to speak for you. But unfortunately, a country like ours, some people doesn't even look about the job. Some people doesn't care. As far as the election is coming up, I give you an envelope of 10,000. They will vote even they know you are a terrible candidate. And after eating that 10,000, they will now start regretting and say, I would have. But the same people complaining now. Come next election, give them another 10,000. They will change the tone again and support you. That's what people think about. We don't even think about the future or anything. And that is, it's unfortunate. We keep saying it. It's not like in Nollywood, we keep saying something, but in the reality, we do different things.
But is that not our politics? Like some would say that our politics lacks an ideology. So it's all about influence. And so when you see a coalition of El-Rufai, Atiku, Abubakar, Rotimi Amechi, I mean, these are big, these are heavyweights, so who cares about, okay, this is our own ideology. People want a better Nigeria. So it's all about having people of substance.
And it's wrong. I will tell you some countries, if somebody is a Democrat, he might either say, I'm not happy with what's going on and I will not even contest, I will not even vote, I will not, but he will not go and turn Republicans. It's not possible because this ideology is what is built in me. This is what I believe in. You can't change that. So in like a country like ours, we don't have any ideology at all. People just flow with the things the way it works. Yeah, somebody who really believe in one Nigeria, you will not go to another party who is thinking of splitting when it comes to election. If you are somebody who believe that economic power, we have to invest more, you will not go to a person who is thinking we not stakeholder capitalist something. But here there's no ideology, they do anything. If, I'm sorry to say this, Rotimi Amechi or El-Rufai are made ministers, they will not be talking the way they are talking today. Because the lost stuff for them is about power. No, that's why you see governors rushing to pick a senatorial form, because they see it as a retirement home for governors. If you have a governor in a state, probably try to be president, vice president. You don't see anything, there's nothing going you want to do in being a senator. You know, there's two, just like, I hope maybe lawyers to be contest for presidency and the judiciary too. You know, you are not, these are lawmakers, this is executive. You have to keep to that, be the executive, but you're not changing over and trying to start making law. Instead of you execute the law passed, and you now come back to make law. And so, of course, they prepare themselves too. Somebody who is in the House today, or the House of Rep today, they will try to write a law that maybe is planning to be governor next time, so that the law will suit them when they are governors. Of course, we're talking about money and reducing costs of governance. It's about them. So do you want them, you cannot change this constitution or make all these things change without them. So they have a way of doing things, so they will never let those things pass through. And when you come to the House, I'm sorry, it's about lobby. And when you're in the opposition, you cannot get anything through, even if it's a very good motion. We, from diasporans, let me come back home, we are suffering this. I know when they wanted to establish NITCOM, Abiri really prepared a very good paper to justify why the diaspora is supposed to have a diaspora commission. But at that time, she was in the opposition, AD or at that time, and the PDP were ruling. They knocked down that proposal. It never saw the light of the day. 2 times they keep calling, and the thing will be missing before the final election, before maybe it's first debate, second, they will take it out. But if it's a ruling party that's proposed this idea, it should have gone through. It's when they became, a party became the ruling party, although she was not even in the House, but the thing was able to go through. What am I saying in short? So now, to get things done, we have to be lobbying people.
Objective things.
Yes, and mostly we have to go to the ruling party because they have the votes. Even if somebody from the opposition has a very good proposal, it is about politics. Now we have the same issue now with diasporans now. We are talking about diaspora voting. We've been working tirelessly, employing some good people to draft a good proposal, to put the motion. We are going to the House to lobby, but we're still waiting to see what's going to. And it's all right. We keep sending money home. We keep doing. Why can't we be part of the government?
But how do you feel?
But we stopped sending our money home.
What about logistics? Yeah, well, it's not possible because you have families, you have friends and families here.
But how do you feel not being able to vote? I'm talking about electric voting, even while away.
I feel bad. With the election, I felt bad when I'm watching the TV, people vote counting, and I cannot cast my own vote. And I say I'm Nigerian. More painful because other countries makes it happen. Even African countries like us.
But do you think we are ripe for this, considering the sensitivity,
the cost implications,
and the fact that
and security challenges,
and the fact that yes, and the fact that technologically, when you look at even when you have a mobile phone, there's always a technical glitch, and anything can happen. Do you think we are really we are ready to take this higher?
We are ready. We've made a lot of proposals that can work. Even if it's not electronically, we start with the analog way. We have embassies in most countries. Country does not have embassy, have an embassy that is close to them that covers that country. We can be going physically in the embassy, cast our vote. There the vote is counted. Everybody has a phone number, phone capture the vote, and the vote is being, and the result is being sent down here. How do the Americans, other country vote? Even in their own case, they even carry the ballot paper and bring it to their country to count. That's why the result takes some days before the final result comes. So they project, they tell you the projection, but it's not really the final result. At times it takes a month, even in America, to have the final result. We can always do that. We have already given some areas and some suggestions how this thing could be done. We are ready. Countries less than Nigeria are ready. Of course, we have large numbers. However, I should say this very sensitive thing, Election now, like last election, is being decided by maybe less than 1 million vote or 1 million vote. And diaspora, we are more than 20 million out there.
But that doesn't mean every
So,
diaspora
which means we can change.
will come and vote. That doesn't mean every diaspora will also come and vote.
If we start now, the interest will be high, and then the vote can be changed from diaspora, and the result can be changed. And that's what politicians are afraid. And they cannot influence that as they influence back home here. I know diaspora want to take 10,000, 20,000 for you to vote. They have the money, they will not take that. So, and that will influence the election. And I'm sure most parties are not ready for that because they know, these diasporas are democratic people.
But what about the cost implication? Because which means, politicians will now be going abroad to campaign, and all of that. That would be humongous.
They don't have to campaign.
I mean, but
As
in
we're
Nigerian
talking now,
politics,
I know.
politicians will go to UK, they will then go to United States to campaign because given the number, the humongous number, I mean, thousands, if not up to millions of diasporans. So they will need the votes too.
And don't forget, if a sitting president is contesting, he will have the materials to go and meet the Nigerian diaspora, the Nigerian community in each different countries to campaign. Whereas there are others who will also want to challenge or contest alongside with him. They might not have that luxury. Don't you think this will be a kind of short-changing or trying not to give equal rights for
We're talking about providing level playing ground.
Yes.
However, in other countries too, the same thing occur and they still vote. What am I saying? As we are talking now, people are watching me from Austria, from UK. You use what you have to achieve it. Modern technology. You don't have to travel down there. And most people in the diaspora, like I said, most of them are well-to-do. You can even have some of the people locally campaigning for you. You don't have to move to everywhere. Maybe to Ghana because they have Nigerians there. Maybe to Ivory Coast, closer country. But going to UK, US, you don't need to go there to campaign. The people there knows what they want. They watch TV. You have a very good postcard program. A lot of programs where you can reach out to them. This is very possible. We don't have to. It's not going to be about money alone. Well, but you can do it tactically.
Well, looking at diaspora voting, don't you think this will subject Nigerian election to more litigation, considering the fact that you now have a lot of, work to do, a lot of evidence and evidences to provide in court, and how do you, just like you said, a result being transported from diaspora down home, and a lot of things, it goes a long way. Don't you think this will subject the election to litigation?
It depends on the way you look at it. Let me explain better. You may not want to do senatorial election or House of Rep election because of the State of Assembly. We can say, okay, let us give it a try at the presidency, which is where the odd vote comes to the same place, the same number. You may not want to select the votes from maybe have to have two-thirds in the state. Say vote of Ogun State diasporans should be counted here in Ogun State. You can generalize it into numbers. However, the way things are being done is like, we have to start from somewhere. I have to see it's going to work or it's not going to work. You cannot say it's not going to work from the beginning. Like I said, we've already done our own work. We've already seen countries who are doing the same thing, how things is being done in those countries. And when we get to that level, we can say, okay, now all election will be done in diaspora. We can say, okay, let us take senatorial, let us take this, but like I said, even presidential election can be the election that we'll start off with, but this is a questionable issue. You have to do a question. But I don't think money, like you said, the cost of money cannot be the problem, which diaspora can even provide money on logistics too. I don't think counting is a problem. If they use the beavers or anything they are using here and they transmit a result electronically, you'll be surprised that some news here in Nigeria, we in diaspora are the one calling our people, telling them. They'll say, I've not had this. I will call them and say, because one, we are 24/7 online, on the internet. We are not saving data. Data is open everywhere you go on the public transport. Everything is data. So we get more information even than people at home. We are the one even telling them this is the institution. Something's happening in Lagos. So say, I don't hear the house collapsed in the Ikeja. We'll be the one telling them. What I'm saying is that we can be reached. Social media can be reached in any form. And if we're really passionate about it, we can even involve our own money into it and say, look, we just want to be heard. We want our voice to be heard. We want our voice to be added to it. And that is maybe where I say, we can give it a try. I don't think we should just throw out the idea totally. Of course, consider it in the House too, it's still on. But at the end of the day, maybe in final reading, they will change their mind. Like I said, it doesn't favor some of the politicians too. Because, like I said, the diaspora may be the one determining the presidency or the governorship if they're given a chance. Because when the thing is so close by here, and then they are waiting for Buck, it happens in the US, when somebody is leading and almost winning the election, and they say they're still waiting for some this thing, and they will tell you the margin is so small that maybe the US Army, this thing that is coming from one state might determine, and you come over and hear that, yeah, the vote is getting so close that the vote, although they have two parties there, maybe it's not like in Nigeria, that we will see that the vote will change overnight. That's why I say people contest the election. You sleep, somebody is leading, and you wake up, and that person has taken over.
You know why I'm skeptical about this is this time where we have artificial intelligence generated videos. Videos also can be manipulated, and don't forget, even people in diaspora, there are people that even if they are to be the umpire, you know, you might not be able to trust them totally. So with all this, how are you not skeptical that you mentioned it that we don't have to throw it out totally because of all this, but looking at this, the evolving technological ideas, don't you think this would further you know, this would further, you know, make people to consider, or those in the lawmakers to consider dropping this bill?
You are very correct. When you talk about this AI generated thing, it happens even here in Nigeria. During the last election, we have a lot of videos. Some people's video are being manipulated, and you hear the voice. They will manipulate the voice, that you will hear the voice, but what they say is totally wrong. Even the American election, they did it a lot. So it's not going to be only for Nigeria alone. We have to also grow up and try to see how we can maintain that. When we're talking about voting, if a vote is being casted in Nigerian embassy in Austria, for example, and we're there, we saw that 40, 50, 60 is the result, and they are supposed to communicate it back home. And we are there with camera, we saw everything. And when we hear the result being read in Nigeria and they say this is the story, of course, we can send people, we send evidence there to the court. Some of the results of last election, experts have been called from abroad to come and even help them with fingerprint or anything. We will fly down, we'll get a lawyer, we will defend our vote, we make sure the vote counts. Of course, I wouldn't have problem in coming to Ogun State 2 times in a month or in a year just to come and testify in the court. Why not? If we want to stand, we believe in it. We just believe, the issue is that we believe it's our right. And there's no reason we should not give it a try. It's going to be very difficult. But the question is, how does other countries make it happen?
Do you think
even large number than India, who are even larger than Nigerians, they do it.
Some of these countries, do you think we need their help in the, you know, at least to pilot this idea? When you consider the fact that to start it, just like we mentioned, do you think we need the idea? We need them to be the umpire? The European Union, some of these countries who have worked this thing out, do you think we need them to be the umpire to pilot this? Because we might not be able to trust all ourselves totally.
We don't need them to be umpire, but we need their support, their experience. I will tell you, even some African countries, even though we are complaining that the Nigerian election is not very good, some African countries still call INEC to come and give them lecture. To come. If some people came sometimes go to even see how we use the beavers and other things for election. Some countries have started copying the same thing. We were even saying we are not good enough. Some people are even copying us. So there's no perfect election or result or system anywhere. We move. It's a system. It's a type of process. We'll get there. Rome was not built in a day. Even elections are being contested in all other countries too. But I'll tell you one thing. Rigging election at times is also will of the people. If the people are really strong and they believe in one party, you cannot rig election there because they will protest. I know some states, I don't want to mention, where a governor won and they went to tribunal and the tribunal said he lost. And the people on the streets saying they will not go agree and everything. Of course, when they went to the appeal court, they reversed it. And the Supreme Court, they reversed it. But we knew that is wish of the people. So at times, even in rigging, you can only rig when the people loves you and they support you. They won't go there en masse.
Yeah, but maybe that's not absolute because I mean the court won't be swayed by the emotions of the people. And there will also be talks of, oh, this is politically, motivated. So if that works, that time, it may not work every time.
The court did not take decision based on the people protesting. The court has to face the facts. But just to know that the people themselves, they knew what they wanted and they were ready to show the interest of. But I know the court, any court will decide based on the emotion of the people. No, it's wrong. And I believe the court, that eventually that was why they won in the appeal court and even the Supreme Court. And because they saw it and said this is the will of the people.
Yeah, but it's even hard to even know the will of the people. Because if Mr. A wins, you see, some people that are loyal to Mr. B, we see them on the street protesting. And if Mr. B wins, some people loyal to Mr. A will also protest.
Politics.
So what is now the will of the people?
Is a game of numbers.
At times we have two popular, candidates. So we cannot say, oh, the will of the people rests solely on Mr. A.
No, it's the same thing we're talking about. It's the will of the people. It's about numbers. So when they see that thing is very equal, if we see a lot of people protesting and very people are on the other side, we know, okay. And if they are always equal, we know this is a very close game. Just like in football, a penalty kick, it can be, it may not be. So it happens. Luck can shine your side, even if you are wrong or if you are not the one. So it's just, but when we see that it's very close, so even when a close decision, you accept your fate too. It happens. And also, like I said, most cases are being done on technical basis, not even going to the listing of them. So I don't want to, I believe in judiciary a lot, but I think it's only God that can give a perfect result in anything. So it can happen. So if you lose today, you can win tomorrow. If luck not shine on your slates, I was using football as an example. Last African Women's Cup of Nations thing, Nigeria were given 2 penalties and 2 red cards against the same Morocco, and they were happy that they play against 9 players, even they play to the 90 minutes extra time with 2 men less, 2 women less, maybe I could use that way, and they won on penalty. That they were happy. This time around, luck does not shine on their side. So it's going to balance one way or the other. Maybe next time will be, I don't wish so anyway, it might be the chance to also maybe have luck against Nigeria. So but it's just the way it is. It's not going to be the same way, but we should accept fate. And I think what will be will be.
Well, Nigerians in the diaspora contribute over $20 billion annually to the economy. And I feel your pains when you say, oh, diasporans should be allowed to vote because your contribution to the economy is quite significant. But you say you have been lobbying. So, I mean, where are you in the process now? Is there light at the end of the tunnel? 2027 elections, that may not come up. Are you targeting 2031 elections, maybe 2035 elections? I mean, are you getting that signs? And why do you think the lawmakers are foot dragging on this?
Yeah, we are not thinking of 10, 20 years far away. We want it now and now. Of course, we have to be very realistic. It might not happen immediately this coming election, but next one is possible. We are moving gradually. I talked about the NITCOM bill that it took almost 3 terms before they get it right. We are still working on it. Now we're at the level of lobbying the House people. Their town hall meeting now. They want us to come up with, just like what you're asking me, evidence. How do we think we can make it happen? What are the possibility of having a free, fair election? And of course, I understand the fear, even within ourselves too. We had a NIDO Europe election recently that is being contested even within ourselves. The election was contested in Europe there, and we ourselves are even fighting each other now that the election was rigged or when you there. So it's going to be everywhere. There's nowhere we have a perfect election. So we were aware of that. We're telling them, look, you cannot say because it might be difficult, you don't want to get it done. We can do it. And we are giving evidences. There's case studies. We've already presented little papers. We're on it. So now it's still about constitutional amendment because it has to be enshrined in the constitution before it can happen. And they are still working on constitutional amendment. So we're still on. We are not out totally with this one. We're still on. Town hall meeting happened recently. I think they're going to be on that town hall meeting again. And we're also lobbying the members because it's about numbers when they want to vote to get them both from both our side of the aisle. From the opposition, from the ruling party, and another small party, we are lobbying, and we'll continue to do that.
But what form will this take? We have almost every country. You definitely find, some Nigerians, but the number differs. You can't compare the number of Nigerians, in the UK, in the US, in Canada, to maybe Nigerians in Austria, or Colombia, for instance. So are you looking at these numbers, or is it that every country we have Nigerians, they will have the opportunity, or where we have the embassy, they have the opportunity to vote, or we're looking at maybe the top 3, the top 4 countries where most Nigerians reside abroad?
You are very correct. In our studies, we realized that, like you said also at the beginning, maybe not every Nigerian wants to even vote. Somebody doesn't want to identify with Nigerians, just like a sister in UK. Okay.
Okay.
So it's possible that some people will say, but they have to be voter registration first. We get the numbers right. Who are interested? Who has the NIN? Who has this and that? All these necessary things. It's going to be a process. So they're going to be also voters registers that we know. Okay, in UK only 40 people can vote in this thing. The numbers might be very high, but not everybody is qualified to contest to. We may have to streamline it and say, okay, if you have dual nationality, you are accepted, and we have large numbers of Nigerians who have dual nationality. We might even restrict it and say only somebody who is Nigerian, who have not renounced his nationality.
Then the number of eligible voters will reduce drastically by the time you say you exempt those with dual nationality, because many Nigerians there, they want that nationality.
Yes, of course.
Those that don't have it, they are hoping that in the next 2-5 years, maybe by naturalization, they will become a citizen. So would the number now amount to something worthy, knowing full well that not every Nigerian in diaspora will vote. Some will just like not every Nigerian votes here. So there will still be voter apathy somewhat.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that there's a lot of strategy. I'm not saying they should use that one, because I too I have a dual nationality, so it's going to affect me even too.
So you too won't be able to vote.
Of course, no, but there's going to be, we have different way of making this happen. You're talking about numbers, that's why I mentioned that one. We give them a lot of criteria, but there has to be seen as that all Nigerians have the equal right. Not their money is being sent home and is being enjoyed there, and we cannot even decide on who rules us. That is it. So we can work out anything, but it's possible, and it's happening in other countries. Why not Nigeria? That is it.
Well, you mentioned about talking about the dual nationality. I think just like you talked about yourself, a lot of Nigerians who also have that dual nationality, who have also identified with the country. You have Anthony Joshua, Israel Adesoya from the sporting world, and a lot to look at. I think just like I will align my thoughts with that of Moses, that a lot of people will be disenfranchised, to put it that way. But do you think, looking at it from this angle, that you need a mock election to test run this? Maybe INEC should just organize a mock election for Nigerians in diaspora to actually, test run and see, number one, the readiness and the willingness of Nigerians in diaspora. Do you think?
We are already solving the situation here. We're already coming up with ideas now. These are things we want to hear. It's possible, yes, why not? The mock election, it happens in different countries, they try to do it. Why I'm talking about dual nationality, like I said, I'm not happy about it, I don't wish it happened that way, but it's that we also vote in other countries. You cannot be deciding the leadership of 2 countries at the same time. So you keep one and you lose one. We are ready to take that one, but just to make sure the right thing is being done. Like I said, other countries do the same thing too. I know, let me give us extra where I live, for example. When it comes to maybe presidential elections from election, they don't allow other citizens to vote. But when it comes to like local government election chairman, you are living in local government. It's about water, it's about your road in that local government. Even non-Austrian votes in that one, because this is just like you are talking about election within the church, and you are saying only church members can take part. Other people who are not full members of the church, but who are attending the church, have the right to, because this is the church they attend. Some people are really registered as members, they pay, and they are this thing. But other people too, as far as it affects them, the leadership or the pastor of the church or the leader they want to vote for is going to rule over them. They have to vote. So what I'm trying to say is that other countries too make ways. They look to all these things and they make laws that affect it. So when you have local government election and Germans can vote, who live in Austria, for example, British in Austria can vote, it's about their local government. They live there, the street lights, the environmental something. And when it comes to maybe presidential, they can vote in their country, so they won't allow them to vote for the president of another country. So they try to differentiate this thing. So we can, when we get there, we cross it. Let them pass this law, and then say, okay, like mock elections and that thing, let's see how it's workability. We have how many countries do we have embassies where we can use the embassy as a polling station? Go to the embassy like America and some other country does. Go there and vote. Which country does not have embassy? Okay. But the country does not have embassy, they have a country close to them, which embassy oversees them. Let them go there and vote and stuff like that. And the votes could be transmitted back home. So let's have a mock election. Let's see how possible it is. But I think we should look into it. We should not just throw out the baby with the bathwater.
All right, we have to go, Moses.
Well, time is fast spent, but I mean, looking at your profile, it's so interesting that you have facilitated the diaspora project. I think the ultra-modern toilet facility at Ogiremo, the one conducted by David Alaba Foundation.
Wow.
David Alaba, who plays for, I think,
Real
you know, and you're also part of the atomic bomb, you know, committee.
Atomic Energy
Agency.
And when people talk about atomic, what comes to their mind is bomb. No, our mandate is to look for a peaceful way of using this very complex technology, and we've been achieving a lot. We're using now in the cure of cancer, in a cultural area to identify where water is in the desert. This nuclear technology. No, when you talk atom, it's a very small thing that can just blow up to bigger thing. So we look for a way, even that cultural area, where you have rice use technology to produce more yields and everything. So it's about using it for a peaceful purpose.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in other programs. Our time is up. So many thanks for coming, Engineer Oluyemi Ogundele, our coordinator of Ogun State Diasporans, and we've talked about yes, coalition and rotational power in Nigerian politics. So many thanks for watching. And New Dawn continues on Wednesday with another set of anchors. Do have a lovely day. Bye for now.
Human trafficking is a modern-day slavery. It is a crime to employ a child under the age of 18 as a domestic worker. It is also a crime to remove, buy, or sell any part of human body or organs. It is a crime to organize foreign traveling without any legal documentations. It is also a crime to promote foreign traveling for prostitution purposes. These are illegal, and it is against the law of the land. The general public is hereby informed to desist from any act capable of using human beings for trafficking in Ogun State. To create positive change and promote a safer, more resilient society in Ogun State, the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP Ogun State Command, is calling on you to report any human trafficking matter and violence-related cases. For more information, please call 0703 497 6168 or visit our office at Old OGTV Complex, Kilometer 9, Olabisi Onabanjo Way, Ajebo Road, Abeokuta, Ogun State.
The Ogun State Emergency Management Agency, OGSEMA, has issued a timely warning to residents, especially community development associations and landlords, to clear their drainages in preparation for the rainy season. This alert is particularly important given the Nigeria Meteorological Agency's prediction of heavy downpours. To mitigate the risk, the agency advised motorists and other road users to avoid flooded roads during rainfall. He also urged CDAs to educate residents on proper waste disposal and the importance of not building on runoff roads or engaging in environmentally hazardous activities. The state government has made it clear that it will take strict action against those who fail to comply with these guidelines. The rainfall prediction for Ogun State has already commenced this month, with a brief dry spell expected from July 21st. To stay safe during this period, residents can take proactive measures, clearing drainage channels, proper waste disposal, avoiding flooded areas, staying informed. By taking these precautions, residents can minimize the risk associated with flooding and ensure a safer rainy season. Announcer, Ogun State Emergency Management Agency, OCSEMA.
This is what happens when we elect public servants and don't tell them what to do for us. Voting is not the end. It is just the beginning.
It's time again for Health Monitor, the #1 program that shows you how to live a life in its healthiest way. To improve the quality of health and life and inspire you and give you the hope that you can live a healthy life every day. It's Health Monitor, yeah. Your guide to good health. It's Health Monitor, the #1 health show, yeah.
It is time for Help Monitor once again. Thank you so much for finding time to be with us. My name is Chibe Odoke. We have our usual segments for your health pleasure: assisted conception, body care, and health tips. Please stick with us. The show proper will return shortly.
It's Health Monitor, the #1 health show, yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Ibinige Iwisi. I'll be speaking to you on IVF today, which is in vitro fertilization. I'm a medical officer with True Care Fertility Clinic in Victoria Island, Lagos. So let's start. What is IVF? In vitro fertilization. This is the fertilization of an egg and a sperm outside of the body. Naturally, in getting pregnant, fertilization happens in the tubes. So when this process is done outside of the body, it's called in vitro. So in vitro fertilization is when we fertilize eggs and sperm outside of the body. Now, how do we go about getting these eggs? These eggs can be gotten from the woman who is trying to get pregnant, or it could also be gotten from somebody else. In this case, we could refer to that person as a donor. So why do we do IVF? Why do couples opt for IVF? In couples that are finding it difficult to get pregnant for any reason can decide to do IVF or have genetic problems. So we'll talk about the common indications or reasons for people doing IVF. The commonest amongst them is people with tubal problems. The uterus has a tube, and that's where fertilization happens. So if for any reasons the tubes have been damaged, then they need to do IVF. People that have medical conditions like endometriosis. Endometriosis is a condition where the womb lining that is found within the womb is found somewhere else. And as such, there might be problems with tubes and fertilization happening naturally. So such women will need to do IVF. Other reasons why people need to do IVF include people with fibroids, people that have had their tubes tied or ligated for any reasons, people who have infertility that cannot be explained, people with genetic problems, people who would need to go cancer treatment and as such need to keep their eggs safe before they take drugs that would damage or affect their fertility. So such women should do IVF. Now, having said this, it's important to know the stages of IVF.
Hello everyone and welcome to the body care segment on the Health Monitor Show. This is the Health Monitor Show, your guide to good health. I am Joan and today in the studio I am accompanied by Lady B. She's an expert in hair care and skin care. And today we are going to be discussing hair thinning or hair shedding. We're going to go on a quick break though. Do not go anywhere because when we come back, Lady B is going to usher us into the hair world and she's going to make us understand the reasons behind hair shedding, hair thinning, and of course, Health Monitor Show always gives you solutions to your health problems. Don't go anywhere guys. I'm still Joan and we'll be right back. Welcome back guys, this is still the Health Monitor Show, your guide to good health, and we are still on the body care segment where we'll be talking about hair shedding, some may like to call it hair thinning. I'm not alone, I'm not an expert in this field obviously, but I love to bring experts here to the show so that solutions can be given to anyone experiencing, particularly women, experiencing